the businesses to record the details of the long gun that they're dealing with. That's the make, model, serial number. And I also want them to record the name and the license number of the person acquiring the firearm. And the reason why I want that is I think it's in the interest of public safety.
OPP Superintendent and a man that should be a politician, Chris Wyatt, that was back in last May on Power and Politics on CBC, defending the backdoor gun registry. Why did it need to exist? Because he thought it should. Now he's come up with new issues he thinks should exist, but in my view, are not supported by law. We talked about some last night, a new requirement for gun owners to be able to transport their firearms to the range. Ed Burlew is a lawyer who deals in firearms issues, joins us now from Toronto. And Ed, you tell me there's even more coming out today on what Superintendent Wyatt's trying to do.
Well, that's right. He did this quietly. He started out quietly by just sending new ATTs out, that's authorities to transport, with new conditions. Didn't tell anybody. People got them, opened them up. Then they started realizing what they had. Now he's come out and said in a letter to one person and he said he's going to tell every range operator of 232 ranges in Ontario that you must also record the name, address, phone number, date of birth, and PA and license number, if they have one, of everyone who uses a gun at the range.
Okay, what is the point of that when you consider that to be able to take your firearms there, you have to have a license already. So you've had to go through the license process. You've had to, if it's a restricted firearm, you've had to get a restricted permit. You've had to get your authorization to transport. You have to be a member of a range to get all of this at the end. And then when you get there, you've got to do all of this and more. This, to me, seems like harassment through paperwork. And I think it's actually not supported by the law. Well, why is he doing this?
I can only figure that in common parlance, the CFO believes he's the PMO, because really this isn't necessary. Since 1978, we've had to have authorities to transport. That's almost 40 years, and it's always worked well. Can we imagine when we have 200 or 300 target competitors coming to a range that they must all get separate letters of invitation?
And these are volunteer clubs, aren't they? There's no secretary that works at them.
That's right. It's all volunteers. It's hard enough to put together a competition and organize all that, let alone then send out 200, 300 personal invitations specifically signed to people who otherwise have been coming there for decades and decades, safely.
All right. Here, I said last night that I didn't think this was supported by law. And a viewer emailed me and said, no, it is. And he said it's Section 58.1 of the Firearms Act. And I want to read this. And listen, folks, if you're not a gun owner, if you don't care about this issue, here's why this is important. This is an attempt, in my view, to have rule of man instead of rule of law. Here's what the law says. A chief firearms officer who issues a license, an authorization to carry, or an authorization to transport may attach any reasonable condition to it that the CFO considers desirable in the particular circumstances and in the interest of safety of the holder and any other person. Here's why this is unreasonable to me, Ed. You just said these things have been around since 1978. There's no need to add on this bureaucracy, but Superintendent Wyatt is annoyed that gun owners have been pushing back against his fiefdom, and he wants to punish them. He's being unreasonable and arbitrary, which goes against the principles of fundamental justice.
I would agree with you on that. There is no demonstrated reason for this. The CFO, Wyatt, he reached back to some case in 2008. Well, that's 5 years ago. It wasn't reasonable. There's been no incident since then. What is the problem? There is no problem, is the answer. This is just a way of chilling us out, putting more bureaucracy in it, creating more bureaucracy, and I guess he'll get a bigger budget. He already gets $7 million a year to run his office. I guess he'll need more people to supervise the almost 20,000 people with authorities to transport and 232 ranges. I mean, that can lead to tens of thousands of invitations, and he'll have to vet them.
All right, Ed, you are fighting this in court, and kudos to you for doing that, and best of luck with that case. Keep us up to date on how it goes.
Thank you.
All right. Now, again, folks, this is about arbitrary rule of law, letting a bureaucrat get away with something the law should not be allowing them. Do we want to live in a country ruled by bureaucrats? Send me your thoughts. Byline@sunmedia.ca.